Gnoti Seuton, love, peace, blessing, all manner of health, wealth, healing, goodness, kindness, abundance, prosperity unto you and your family. And it's really just such a powerful blessing when we can have an accurate discernment. And discernment is so important for Gnoti Seuton, to know yourself, because there certainly is a difference in many cases between what we've been told and what is actually true. And you can see this progress in many different areas, usually in the form of government, or maybe a political party, a faith, a religion, a discipline. And what happens is that the founders, they're really dedicated. They're all out, completely given to the cause that they are, working hard to establish, and they understand it, and they know it. They understand the way that it works. They understand why that it works and what they're trying to accomplish. And then you find that as time goes by, a lot of movements are taken over by people who, just simply want to occupy a position. They're looking for a job. And there's a difference between being an innovator, being a creator, being maybe a patriot, certainly between being a father and somebody who just is looking for a paycheck. And you find out that over time, movements have really pure intentions in the beginning, and then they get basically whittled down and watered down, and they get attacked for all different types of things. And then people are convinced of reasons why the original idea, doesn't work anymore or won't work anymore. And when you apply that thinking unto the United States, and you remember that our founding fathers, while none of them were perfect — are you perfect? I'm not perfect. None of them were perfect, but they did recently come from being under tyranny. They came here trying to escape tyranny, and with the intention of creating a way that people could live free and not end up under tyranny. And that's what they came up with. And looks like they did a pretty good job. We're doing good for a long time until you recognize some of the ways from across the pond, so they speak, ways that the founding fathers specifically wrote in our founding documents to keep out of our country. And anyone who wants to get a solid foundation, a solid understanding, who is truly looking for financial discernment, you definitely want to listen to The Creature from Jekyll Island, which is a work that was done by G. Edward Griffin, and very, very phenomenal in just a historical reveal of what was created on Jekyll Island. And I'll just leave it at that. But most people don't know. I never knew until years ago when I found out about it in an educational seminar. But it's very, very important because the influence behind this is the influence that created the tyranny in Europe and around the world, and again, seeks to spread around the world and literally control the world. That's the idea. And it's kind of like Star Wars, or the Lord of the Rings. In Lord of the Rings, Gandalf was wise enough to recognize Sauron does not share power, and it's the same in Star Wars. The Sith, they have an appearance that they just want to create peace, and they just want to create order and peace, but really all they want to do is create an energy system for themselves to feed themselves, and everybody else is just a slave. And that's basically, that sums it up. That's the understanding of this influence that seeks to still wants to rule the world, and it does it under the guise of peace. It does it under the guise of being for the people, and we're just going to help you poor struggling victim people, instead of giving everybody their sovereignty, giving everybody their freedom, like I believe the founding fathers intended for this country. And yes, none of them were perfect. They had their flaws just like all of us, but I do believe that their recent escape from tyranny, to the point that they were willing to lay down their life to escape it, shows that they knew something that people don't know today. And that foundation was whittled away, it was torn apart, and torn apart by other nations, other infiltrating forces, all different types of influences, and simply, by our own being asleep. I think it was Thomas Jefferson, I may be wrong, I'm not sure, but one of the founding fathers, after they were drafting the founding documents, came out, and somebody there said, what kind of government have you given us? And he said, a representative republic, if you can keep it. So they recognized that this type of freedom was under fire way back then. They recognized that there was an influence that, wanted to slither in and, control the United States just like it did practically the rest of the world. They were aware of it. And now, all this time later, I would say that if you haven't watched a video called The Creature from Jekyll Island or listened to an audio, you may not know that influence and what is behind it. So very, very powerful for you to simply empower yourself. That's the meaning of Ginothi Seiutan, to know yourself, to know what energies you have allowed to be attached to you, and are they serving you or are they feeding off of you? And hopefully you can recognize that if something is feeding off of you, that's toxic. It's not good for you. It's using you, and it's going to prevent, block, or at least delay you from achieving your own heart's desire, your own authentic life, and it's going to be painful. So really, really important for everyone to know this influence. Again, the creature from Jekyll Island. Very, very important for you to know this information for yourself. And you might discover that some of the recent influences and what they were claiming and what they were saying they were going to do but didn't do, and then saying that well, if you vote for them, that's what they're going to do. Boy, on both sides. Just recognize, what is the truth? What is this influence really saying, or really meaning behind the words that it says? And know for yourself, understand for yourself, empower yourself, and recognize and understand the truth, because it's always the truth that sets us free. So with that, love, peace, blessing, all manner of goodness and abundance unto you and your family. Ginothi Seiutan. Shalom. Namaste.